Cruise news time, and here we go. It's the day after Hurricane Ian has made its way through Florida. We've got to talk about the devastation. We also have to talk about cruise cancellations. Carnival Cruise Line has announced the godmother for its latest cruise ship, the Carnival Celebration. And while the name's a familiar one, you might know this name. There is a hotel business trying to eke its way into the cruise business, into the luxury side of the cruise business. And Carnival, well, they've got a new program out there for high spenders, for whales, for people that spend a lot of coin in the casino. Pretty exciting perk. And Carnival, oh man, under fire. They had a free peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a certain free peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Well, it's free no more. And wait till you hear how much the free peanut butter and jelly sandwich costs. There are some people that are none too pleased with the changes. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your consumption. And wow, it's the 29th of September, 2022. And Hurricane Ian came ashore yesterday as a strong Cat 4, almost Category 5 storm hurricane. And it slammed right into Fort Myers, into Naples, into Cape Coral, and it devastated those communities. A lot of destruction, a lot of flooding, a lot of power outages, dumping wind and rain, really on some unsuspecting people. If we followed along what happened with this hurricane for much of the modeling, the port of Tampa was being targeted as the spot where this hurricane would come on shore. And then late Monday night, the model shifted, showing that the landfall would be more south of Tampa, and that's what happened. So those folks certainly didn't have the same amount of time to get ready, to evacuate, to prepare as everybody that was sounding the alarm kind of here in Tampa, north of Tampa where I live. And so, yeah, they got wrecked. Now, fortunately, the storm did weaken throughout the day as it continued to move in a northeastern trek, eventually making its way out of the state early this morning, leaving the state as a tropical storm, Ian. But there were cities in the path, in Lakeland and Orlando, catching a lot of rain, catching a lot of water. We were fortunate here. We didn't get much. We had rain. We had some wind. There's some branches down, but those are branches that would fall for a heavy wind either way. We really got lucky here, and our thoughts go out to those people that are dealing with it. Fortunately, I feel like the state is fairly well ready to mobilize to go in and help those people, and so hopefully we end up with a good result here. But yeah, devastation down there on the southwestern coast of Florida. Hurricane Ian has prompted some cruise cancellations. I want to run through those real quick, but first I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's show, Skillshare. Today's episode is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare, an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for inspired and curious learners. It's an innovative platform that gives you lessons in short chunks with no ads, really freeing up your ability to learn something quickly, whether it's learning how to make better content, whether it's learning how to increase your productivity, whether it's learning how to become a better entrepreneur. Skillshare has a class for you. One of the biggest challenges I face right now as a solo creative entrepreneur is how do I make content for all the different platforms that are out there. I'm working through this great class right now from NYC Live, and it's all about how do you tell a story through short form content and how do you get it on those platforms and seen by others. It gives me hope that as time goes on, I'll be a better micro content creator. And as always, Skillshare has a great offer for the locafam. The first 1,000 people to click the link in the description below, well, you get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. How many classes can you take in a month? And, free is free. Click the link in the description. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring today's video. Let's take a quick look at cancellations. There was a time where cruise ports were closed all over the state. Jacksonville, Port Canaveral, Tampa, even Port of Miami was closed for a while, resulting in some cancellations. Cancellations for today, the 29th of September, the Carnival Paradise out of Tampa canceled. The Carnival Elation out of Jacksonville canceled. The MSC Divina out of Port Canaveral has been canceled. And the Norwegian Getaway was supposed to do its first Florida sailing coming down from New York. The 29th was going to be the day they embarked. That NCL cruise has been canceled. And then tomorrow on September the 30th, the Carnival Liberty out of Port Canaveral is canceled, and the Disney Wish out of Port Canaveral is canceled. There are several cruise ships out there that are extending their cruises. There's some modified, shorter itineraries coming up for some Royal Caribbean ships. So just a reminder to people that probably already know, if you're cruising out of Florida over the next few days, make sure you're in touch with your cruise line, understand what's going on with your cruise, make sure you're checking to make sure the airports are open. Much of everything is still closed in our town. I think they decided they were going to close businesses for 2 days, regardless of what happened with the storm. So a lot of things are still closed here. And of course, there in Southwest Florida, there's still a lot of work to be done to get those communities up and running again. But yeah, wow, what an event that is. That's hurricane season here in Florida. And again, hopefully everybody comes through it without much challenge, but we know there will be challenge. So there you go. Cruise news story number 2, a little more upbeat than the storm talk. We do have a brand new godmother, for the Carnival Celebration. Carnival's newest cruise ship coming out in just a few months. Her godmother will be Cassidy Gifford. Do you recognize the last name Gifford? Yes, this is the daughter of Kathy Lee Gifford, the longtime spokesperson for Carnival Cruise Line. And look, I love it when they do stuff like this. Cassidy Gifford being the godmother of the new celebration, super serendipitous, as Kathy Lee Gifford was the godmother of the previous iteration of the celebration. How about that? Yeah, it's a good story. Exciting times, especially when you're starting to hear these stories about the godmother. That means that the cruise ship is on its way. Pretty soon we'll be on the Carnival Celebration. I cannot wait to see. I've been on the Carnival Mardi Gras, which is the first cruise ship in the XL class, the new XL class from Carnival, and there's going to be differences. There's not going to be an Emerald. Bam! There's not going to be an Emerald restaurant on the new celebration, so I'm interested to see the differences, spend some time on that ship. I'm looking forward to it. I don't even know when it is. Sometimes I talk about these cruises. I don't know. I know we're going on the Prima before the end of the year. I don't know when that is. And I know we're going on the Celebration. I just wait to be told. But I know I will be on those 2 cruise ships. I'm excited. How about that? Cruise news story number 3, let's talk about a hotel business trying to get into the cruise business. Well, which hotel brand are we talking about? It's the Four Seasons, baby. It's Four Seasons in partnership with the Fincantieri shipbuilders. You know Fincantieri, they build a lot of ships. Also in partnership with the luxury shipping experts, Mark Henry Cruise Ltd. They're going to be bringing a ship forth, really a luxury yacht forth, with 95 cabins. And look, these are all going to be suite level accommodations, the smallest suite being 581 square feet, with the largest suite being a multi-deck, well over 9,000 square foot suite. Holy moly guacamole, that is some large accommodations on the ocean. It's interesting, we do see some high-end cruise brands out there. The question is begged, is there enough people out there rolling with that kind of coin that are cruisers? Four Seasons making the bet that the answer is yes. Of course, they say you can't take it with you, so I guess you might as well spend it on a luxury cruise. What can you say, man? That's ballin'. That is ballin', y'all. And you know who else tends to be ballers on cruise ships? High-end gamblers. And our next cruise news story involves high-end gamblers on Carnival Cruise Line and a new partnership that Carnival has made with the company dvrn. dvrn, dvrn. It's a luxury elite limousine hosting company, and they will now be handling all of the interaction between the high-end gamblers and the Carnival Cruise Line. I don't know what it means to be a high-end gambler on a cruise ship, but if you get to that level where dvrn is involved, they're going to take care of your transportation for you and your party to the cruise ship, all the way from embarkation to debarkation. You're going to be treated like royalty. It reminds me of movies. It reminds me of the stories you hear in Vegas, where if you are a whale, that's someone who is considered a high-end gambler. If you are a whale, the casinos take good care of you. I've had this question a lot. We had an interesting conversation on the live show the other night, and I pointed out a little casino etiquette, a little gambling etiquette. I've noticed sometimes that when I'm gambling on a cruise ship, it could be because I'm known or whatever. A lot of times people look at my money, which makes me feel weird. How many chips are in front of me? And people will just openly ask me, am I winning or am I losing? Most of the time, gamblers don't want you to ask them about their money. It's kind of uncouth. It's gauche, as they say. And so that's the public service announcement. And somebody also made the point, it's a little annoying when gamblers are like all in your face talking about the big win that they had, because in reality, there can be big wins in gambling, but gambling is one of those things that you're going to lose at in the long haul, in the long term. And so while in your mind you will bookmark your wins, you will often find a way to forget your losses. And so maybe a good rule of thumb, and I could be speaking out of school here, gamblers, weigh in for me. Do you like people asking you about your gambling, your money? Do you like people looking at your money? Yes or no? And should people really keep it to themselves when they have big wins? Because those big wins are probably chasing big losses. I don't know. But I often have the question, I don't gamble a whole lot on the cruise ship, let me just say that. And so I don't know at what level do you become a high-end gambler? At what level are you balling? Do you have to spend $10,000 a cruise? Do you have to spend $5,000 a cruise? Are they going to send the limo for you for $2,000 a cruise? I don't know. I know there's people that cruise for free all the time. Talk about it, don't talk about it. But certainly, don't bother somebody in the casino while they're gambling about their bankroll. How about that? All right. Those are the big cruise news items for today. I think that clears the table for the conversation about the end of a particular free peanut butter and jelly sandwich on Carnival Cruise Line. There's people that are hot under the collar for this. And look, we'll talk about that. But first, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. A big shout out to the Loca fam. We crossed the 195,000 subscriber mark. Wow. That's blowing my mind. And we're in that special sweet spot where we're on the last 5K to hitting another 100,000 subscribers. We are 4,400 and something subscribers away from 200,000 subscribers. And for the cruising niche, which isn't very big, wow. I'm so excited for everybody that follows along, that watches the show. Thank you guys so much. I feel very lucky that I get to do this. And I'm also, I'm ambitious and I'm competitive. I won't hide that from you. So I strive every day to make something that's relevant, that's entertaining, that you guys love. And I hope that part of that striving is not only people watching the video, but people subscribing. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It really just allows YouTube to send out the show to you when it comes out on a daily basis. And so, yeah, I'm not going to be ashamed of my efforts. I will not be shamed into being ashamed of my efforts. I'm excited when you watch. I'm excited when you subscribe. I'm excited when you comment. I'm excited when you like. And I'm excited when you find value from what I'm giving you on the daily in an entertainment and an educational form. And much love to the Loca fam. How about that? Boom! In about a month, I think we'll hit that 200,000 subscriber mark. So excited. I'm so excited. All right, so a few weeks back, it was announced that Carnival would be doing away with most of the free items on its room service menu. The word went out from brand ambassador John Heald that in a few weeks that he would have the new room service menus for us, along with the new pricing. He promised that there would be some new and exciting menu items, and yesterday, well, the menu dropped. Here is the new room service menu for Carnival. I will leave it up on the screen for a second or two if you want to pause, take a look, but let's go through it. So breakfast from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., you can get most of the breakfast items on the breakfast item menu list for free. You do have to either order this on the app or you have to call it in. There is no more door hangers. The door hanger was the system where you would write out your breakfast menu the night before. You'd leave it on your door. They'd gather it up and your breakfast would be there automatically in the morning. They do have some for-pay breakfast sandwiches. I believe that that's basically unchanged. I believe the last time I did room service on Carnival, the for-pay breakfast sandwiches were in the cut. They were there. Now, if we look at the leisure dining that happens from 10 a.m. to 6 a.m., that's the overnight dining, that's the during the day dining. You'll see that there's some salads, there's some sandwiches, there's the chicken wings. Some of these things were for pay previously, like the firecracker shrimp. I've had that before. I paid money for it. The chicken wings, I've tried that. I paid that before. But many of these sandwiches were gratis. They were free, did not cost anything. and now there is a charge. Everything on the menu now beyond that breakfast has a charge. So for me, I'm a little challenged because I feel like many of the things that are on this menu are the same things that were on this menu previously. They just now have a charge associated with them. And one of the things I know I've ordered off of this menu before for free is the peanut butter and jelly sandwich on toast. I don't know if it was on toast previously. I think it was just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on white bread, but it was free. And now for the PB&J, it costs $5. So now there is a $5 charge for the PB&J. Now the whole impetus behind putting the prices on the room service, the big deciding factor as revealed by John Heald, is the desire to eliminate food waste. What he has revealed in part as part of the decision process behind adding these prices was the recognition that because things were free, people would order stuff and then waste the food. So that's the big push. There's some conversation whether that's valid or not. I would think that part of that is valid, but I do also think that they are also needing to offset the cost of room service workers, the whole process, that kind of thing. But certainly, I acquiesce to the idea that part of this has to do with food waste. However, if you think of Carnival as a cruise brand where many people will cruise because of its advantageous pricing, does this now hurt people who wanted to use room service that maybe had used it previously? The comments are interesting on John Heald's deal. I'm just going to read one of them that I think is really interesting. I think this epitomizes what is a Carnival Thunderstruck family fun cruiser. The ladies, and I've hidden the lady's name, she said, "I used to get a salad, a sandwich, and cheesecake for free after coming back to the port in the afternoon. So you have a busy port day, come back, instead of trying to navigate the buffet or wait in line for pizza or anything like that, just go to the cabin, get you some free room service." I've done that. Makes sense. Now that is $15 plus gratuity. If my family of 3 does the same thing, it costs us $45 plus gratuity, which equals $53. It was pitched as a nominal cost. This lady says it's really not a nominal cost. That's actually pretty expensive. And John answers her gracefully and says, look, yeah, $53, but you can always go out and get these sandwiches at the deli. You can go wait in line at the deli with everybody else and get your sandwiches if you really want your sandwiches. But that's the way it goes. That's the way it is. They're going to charge this cost. And so I'm assuming at this point in the conversation, there's enough people like, are we really talking about room service? If you can't afford room service, don't go on a cruise. It's a broader conversation, in my opinion, in my view. It's a broader conversation. As cruising is returning, we know that cruise lines are doing things to recoup the money that they've borrowed. They need to be more profitable. And so when you want to be more profitable, you look at places where you're doing things like free services and wondering if there's some way to make money off of those free services, or if taking away the free service will be detrimental to the brand or detrimental to brand loyalty. I believe every cruise line, not picking on Carnival. Carnival is just really open about this stuff. We talk about Carnival a lot for a couple reasons. Most popular cruise line in the world. I really think it is the entry point for a lot of people to jump into cruising, and they're very open about it. John Heald is a very public figure, and I think he uses his Richard Sims, who I appreciate, follows the channel. He's also a great writer, a contributor to one of the best cruise blogs out there. He said that he feels like maybe sometimes the John Heald stuff is overplayed. I can't remember the exact words, but I understand the sentiment. I believe that. I believe that John Heald probably uses his page to put stuff out there to get responses from people. And certainly he gets responses from people. And so I think it's a little ebb and flow. So I appreciate the fact that John Heald uses his page to make announcements and to answer questions. And I feel like they also use it to gauge customer satisfaction. It's ingenious, as it were, in my mind. And so this could be one of those things. But here's the thing, like, how far can you push people by taking away the things that used to be included? Is anybody going to quit cruising on Carnival because there's no more free room service? I would be surprised. Most of the cruise lines have some sort of charge for room service. It doesn't always work like this a la carte, stack everything up, pay for everything. But most of the time, you're not getting free room service, except on certain lines. Some of the secondary higher-end lines, they have free room service. But it's an interesting question. Will this cut back on food waste? Will this dissuade people from cruising on Carnival? Is this much ado about nothing? Or is this indicative of cruise lines trying to recover from a 2-year shutdown? Peanut butter and jelly, it's an interesting topic, but it is symbolic for a lot more going on in the cruise space. And look, I was gonna close out with the normal stuff, but I just gotta tell you, man, I'm starting to feel a little itchy. It is so funny when you get in this rhythm of cruising and traveling. And it's nice to come home, but now that I've been home for like a week or so, I'm kind of like, oh, I gotta get on the road again. Now it's 30 days, like 31 days until I cruise again. I do have a lot of stuff to do here, so my goal is to not travel during the next 30 days, but to rather wait until our Halloween cruise. A lot of stuff is shaping up great for the Halloween cruise. We got a lot of cool events that Jenny and I will be at, and then we got a lot of cool community-led events. We're really trying to tweak what we do with the group cruise model. If you're interested in going on a Lido Loca group cruise, I don't know if we're going to do them after 2024, to be honest. So we still have cruises in 2022 and then in 2023. If you want to see the tweak and you want to cruise with us, you can go to lalidoloca.com/group cruise. And then also we've been posting news articles at lalidoloca.com. I've enlisted a very good writer and researcher who happens to be related to me, my sister. But she is writing news articles for us over on lalidoloca.com. So yeah, check all that out. All right. Thank you so much for watching the show. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it. You can do me a solid by hitting the like button. And if you do not hit the like button, well, I'll be forced to punish you. And your punishment will be this. On your next cruise, you will be in charge of cutting the crust off of all the ordered PB&J sandwiches. You will be the crust cutter. And this is going to take away from your time in the library or at the bar or at the, belly flop contest or at the, love and marriage show. The next event you want to go to, they'll be like, sorry, you can't go to this event. You're going to spend the next 2 hours cutting the crust off of PB&J. What jelly preference do you have? I'm a grape jelly person. I don't think you should match any other jelly other than grape with peanut butter. If you think that you should, you're wrong. Come at me. Did you see that video where I stayed in the cabin that was less than 100 square feet? Tiny. Check that out next. Tony for Lido Loca. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. I need peanut butter.